Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are going to demystify Amazon QuickSight. We're going to cut through all the complex jargon and use some really simple, powerful analogies to show you exactly how it can turn that messy data of yours into real, tangible business value. So let's get right into it.
So, let's kick things off with a really fundamental question every single business should be asking itself. When it comes to your own data, are you truly seeing what's going on, or are you just kind of guessing? Believe me, that difference is absolutely everything.
And this right here, this lays it all out perfectly. You know, guessing is like trying to figure out how fast your car is going just by listening to the engine. It's just noise, right? It's chaos. You've got mismatched reports flying around, but seeing, well, that's like having a crystal clear speedometer right in front of you. One number, one single source of truth. That's the clarity we're talking about.
So the big question is, how do we make that shift? Our first section here is all about that, how we go from all that confusing data noise to a clear, understandable signal.
Okay, so here's the first big idea to wrap your head around. Just think of QuickSight as your business's speedometer. All that raw data you have, the spreadsheets, the databases, that's just engine noise. Yeah, it's loud, but it doesn't actually tell you your speed. A dashboard gives you that one clear number, so you know exactly how fast you're going and where you're headed. But of course, a speedometer needs a reliable source of information, right? So think of all your data sources like different water pipes. You've got one for sales, another one for finance, maybe a third one for operations. QuickSight acts like this central connector, bringing all those pipes together. And the result? Everyone in the entire organization is drinking from the exact same trusted source of water.
And you know what that solves? It gets rid of one of the most common, most frustrating problems in any company. You've all been in that meeting, right? Where everyone has their own version of the data, and you just spend the whole time arguing about whose numbers are right instead of actually making decisions. By unifying the data, you just, poof, eliminate that problem. Poof, gone.
Okay, so how does it do all this so quickly? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that makes it all work. It's all powered by something called the SPICE engine. Now, that's just a fancy name for an in-memory engine, which really just means it holds data in super fast storage. But the analogy here is just perfect. Think of it like having a delicious, fully prepared meal just waiting for you in the fridge. You just open the door and it's there, ready to go. You don't have to cook from scratch every single time you're hungry.
And the benefit of that is incredibly simple: speed. Before, running a report meant cooking all that data from scratch, which, as you probably know, can be painfully slow. With SPICE, the meal is already prepared. That means your dashboards and your reports, they load instantly.
Now, another really key piece of this engine is something called calculated fields. These are basically custom metrics that you create just once. The best way to think about it is like having a smart calculator that's always doing the complex math for you, automatically, right there in the background.
So for example, instead of you having to manually export data to Excel every single day just to calculate something like revenue per user, you just tell QuickSight how to do it one time. You give it your total revenue, you give it your total users, and boom, it automatically gives you that key metric updated every single day without you having to lift a finger.
Okay, so now that we've got this fast, unified data, we can start using it to be proactive instead of just being reactive all the time. This is where it gets really powerful. This is about using your data to see what's coming around the corner.
I want you to think of your dashboards like a CCTV system for your entire business. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't turn on a security camera only after a problem has already happened, would you? No way. You have it running constantly so you can spot trouble early.
And this just fundamentally changes how you operate. Instead of waiting a whole month to get a report and find out there was a problem, you can spot a dip in sales the very day it happens. You can act immediately before a tiny little crack turns into a major problem.
So, let's say you spotted something on your business CCTV. What's next? How do you investigate? Well, that's where filters come in. They let anyone, and I mean anyone, not just data experts, ask simple, direct questions to find out what's really going on.
Honestly, the best analogy for this is it's like asking Google a very specific question instead of having to read the entire internet to find your answer. You can just ask, hey, show me sales data for London from last month, and you get an instant, targeted answer. It's that simple.
But what if you don't want everyone asking questions about all the data? That's a great question, and that's where row-level security becomes absolutely crucial. It lets you set things up so a city manager, for example, only sees the data for their specific city. Meanwhile, the finance team can see the whole financial picture.
It's exactly like an office key card.
Your card only opens the doors you're actually authorized to enter. It's a really simple but powerful way to make sure people only see the data that's relevant and, secure for their specific role.
All right, let's bring all this home. In our final section, let's talk about the bottom line impact. Why does all of this actually matter to your organization, day in and day out?
Well, for starters, these scheduled refreshes mean your data is always current. It's just like having a fresh newspaper delivered to your digital doorstep every single morning. No more wasting time manually pulling and refreshing old reports.
And collaboration, it becomes totally seamless. Instead of emailing around static, quickly outdated PDFs or screenshots, you just share a live link. It is as easy as sharing a Google Maps link, and it guarantees that everyone is looking at the exact same real-time information.
And the impact is felt right across the company. Management can understand the health of the entire business in just minutes. Your teams can finally stop wasting time chasing down reports and actually start acting on them. And your analysts, they can finally focus on finding those deep, meaningful insights, not just formatting spreadsheets all day.
So when you boil that all down, what is Amazon QuickSight in a nutshell? It's a tool that transforms all that confusing data into clear, understandable pictures. It empowers your organization to see problems early, to track growth accurately, and to make way better, faster decisions, all without the usual technical headaches.
And this all brings us right back to where we started. Your data, it's constantly talking. It's telling you stories about your business, about your customers, about your biggest opportunities. So the only question left is, are you ready to listen?